What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another Monday Night Raw review. And for this Monday Night Raw, we got uh, a decent Monday Night Raw with a questionable uh, decision for this Women's Royal Rumble. I'm going to get to that when I get to it. But, you know what it is. Maybe turn off the music. All right. So they started off with Pat and Cole welcoming everybody to Monday Night Raw and discussing about the Women's World Championship situation and the Battle Royal that's going to take place to crown the new Women's World Champion. They also did like a video package to show what happened last week with Rhea relinquishing the title due to injury. But when we get to the actual first segment of the night, now QN, you probably saw the picture QN. Jay Uso and Damian Priest. Damian Priest came out and talked about, Jay Uso came out first. And Damian Priest came out and Jay Uso started off the promo by saying that he has to prove himself. And he had proven to himself and everybody that the sacrifice, everything he went through was worth it, and why where he at now, was worth it. Everything was worth to get to this point. And Damian Priest came out and shared a story about a time where Jay whooped him so bad or beat him so bad that he brought him drinks afterwards, to which Jay told him that they was next, and he said he was proud to stay in the ring with Jay, and that he was right, that we were next, or you were halfway, I was next. Me being El Champion is proves that I was next. But Jay said that he will beat Damian Priest to become the new World Heavyweight Champion at Backlash. JD McDonough came out to try to attack Jay, but Jay would get out of it and try to super kick him, but only to ask for Jay to move out the way, and Damian Priest gets super kicked, and that's the end of that promo. We got the first match of the night, which is The Miz and Truth, or also known as the Awesome Truth, versus DIY for the World Tag Team Championships. And this was a good match. I liked it. This was a good match. This was a solid opener. I enjoyed what they've been doing with or what they was doing in the match. I like the near falls in the meet in the middle, but in the end, Awesome Truth would get the victory and retain the titles. DIY, well, at least Johnny Gargano went to go. They should Johnny. Well, they got in the ring to Awesome Truth got in the ring to say Johnny Gargano's in them hand for taking him to the limit. But Tommaso Ciampa did not want to shake their hands, and he got out the ring. They say it was due out of frustration, but is this a possible heel turn for Tommaso Ciampa? Then we got a Judgment Day promo where JD is trying to apologize for what happened, and with Damian Priest telling him that he didn't need him to come out there last week. He didn't need him to come out here this week. And by the way, you failed. Even if that was the plan, you failed both times. And that Dominic revealed that he is hurt and that he got Santos Escobar to take his place in tonight's tag team match against Ricochet and Andrade. To which JD was a little bit, frustrated that Dominic didn't inform him, and Damian Priest told him to handle business. We got Gunther's promo next, where Gunther basically came out and talked about he's not going to down Sami Zayn. He's not going to talk trash about him, but yet he's going to thank Sami Zayn for releasing him, because he said once he became champion, he brought the prestige of that championship to new heights, and that he went from being the hunter to the hunted, and the pressures of having to, bring that championship to new heights, and to what he say? he said, and the pressure that he put on himself, his expectations and pressure that he put on himself and everybody else. And now he said, now he set his sights on the King of the Ring tournament, and that he's going to elevate the King of the Ring tournament. And once he goes from Ring General to King of the Ring, he's going to, he said, then he put both champions on notice, whoever they may be, that he will be coming for them, which signifies that they are going back to the Triple H are going back to the old format of the King of the Ring, where whoever wins eventually goes on to become a future world champion. And I'm here for it. New Day will come out, and with Xavier was declaring that he would be entering into the whatchamacallit, the King of the Ring, and that he's going to be a 2-time King of the Ring champion, and he wants to defend his throne, because Gunther were to win, he would be a usurper, as he's the current reigning King of the Ring. This will lead Gunther to make Giovanni and Ludwig Kaiser to challenge. He made them challenge New Day to a match. That's where now Q transition. We go into the third match of the night, which is the New Day versus Imperium, and this was a good match. As usual, they always work together, but the most important thing about this match is the finish. New Day would get the victory over Imperium, and Gunther was mad. He was at ringside. He was very upset, and he threw the chair that he was sitting in, and he looked at the Ludwig and gave him a nod like that, and Ludwig looked like he was like, dang it. And he went to go hug Giovanni. The camera lingered too long, and thus we got the turn on Giovanni, where Ludwig would beat down Giovanni and then deliver the same move he delivered to Kofi Kingston and took him off for a couple of weeks on the steel steps. Then he would go backstage. The camera will follow him backstage to see a smiling Gunther, and he tells Gunther, "I told you I would get it done." And Gunther nods in approval. They both walk away. So it looked like Giovanni is out. Who knows? I think Giovanni he's a good wrestler, and I would say pull him back in NXT. Maybe he'll do good in the singles run. Who knows? We get a Drew McIntyre promo next, where he comes out and they in Columbus, Ohio, and he comes out and he mess with the Ohio crowds because they were chanting CM Punk's name, saying that he said why do you chant his name at me every time I come out here? They kept saying what, so he said say what if you kiss your sister, and he said what, he said you guys are sick, and he said he has a complicated. He said something about a complicated relationship, and you guys would know nothing about it because the only complicated relationship you guys have is with your hand. I like the reference there. But he said he wasn't going to complain about everything that happened to him up to this point. He said he's Drew McIntyre. He's going to go out. He's going to come out swinging. He's going to fight through the adversity, and he declared himself for a King of the Ring as well. This will bring out Sheamus to confront him with some best friend like brotherly love, tough love, and tell him to stop. The one thing that he's doing that he doesn't like is that he comes out here and he complains and blames everybody else but himself. He won't take accountability for himself, and some would say that's being a coward. But Drew would say it is everybody else's fault, and that. But he said, since we had this conversation before already, but he said, since you want to do it out here publicly, he said, like you said, it would, like we used to have bangers after bangers after bangers, but since you came back, like you have burgers after burgers after burgers after burgers. And he said, I could lose. He said, Sheamus says, I could lose the weight, but you can't lose stupid. And Sheamus is trying to get through the Drew and saying that you got to let this vendetta. What you're gonna lose everything if you keep going on with this vendetta against Punk. Same as Drew tells Samus that what Punk did to me when I was a kid. You know that the anger I have for him, but he said let it go and let it go and forget about CM Punk because you should. If you did, you would be standing here world heavyweight champion right now and not Damian Priest. Sheamus said that he's gonna. Drew told Sheamus that everybody else in the back was talking about him being fat, and he said that Sheamus said he doesn't care what everybody else say, but he said he do because But Drew said, but he do because I'm your best friend, and I always got your back. Just like I'm gonna stand here at ringside, have your back tonight. But he said it in a weird, aggressive way. But then we'll get to the next match, which is Sheamus versus Shinsuke Nakamura, and this was a good match. And for the match itself, I was about to say the most part, but for the whole match, Drew didn't do anything, but really had his back and was cheering him on. Sheamus, it looked good here, like he is losing the weight a little bit, and he looked a little bit better and a little bit more in shape than he did last time, showing that he's working out. But Sheamus would get the victory over Shinsuke Nakamura. We did go to a backstage interview with Sami Zayn, where he wanted to talk. They asked him about what happened with Chad Gable last week, and he said that he was hurt. He said he hurt not emotionally, but after what happened, he's still hurt, and that he is a lot of things he could say about Chad or what happened, but he's biting his tongue because he wants to hear what Chad has to say. But then he would get interrupted by Bronson Reed, who tells him not to forget about Chad, that he got a bigger problem, and that Sammy tells Bronson, anytime, any place, if this is what you want at the Intercontinental Championship, anytime, any place. He said okay, and he stepped away. And he was getting ready to he was getting ready to continue his interview, but Bronson Reed would attack him and tell him that he will take the Intercontinental title whenever he feels like it, and then the brawl would get not the brawl, but the beatdown would get broken up by officials. We got Chad Gable's promo, and Chad Gable even mentions what just happened with Sammy, but he says that the reason why he did what he did was because he said had Sammy just would have won and just left the ring and just left gracefully, he wouldn't have done what he did. But he did what he did because Sammy just couldn't let him he couldn't be like a graceful champion. I guess he's saying that instead he laid the title in front of me and found me weeping in the corner. He said I could have took down the chin, and I did, and I raised his hand, but that wasn't good enough for him. Then he would get out the ring, and also he got Alpha Academy with him. He got Maxine, Akira, and Otis in the ring. But then he had to go out and celebrate with his kid and his wife. He said that was my moment. He said I should have been the one to beat Gunther at WrestleMania. I should have been the one to have that moment. But no, I was wasting my time training Sami Zayn. And I've been wasting my time training a bunch of losers. And that's when he started tearing down Akira, Maxine, and Otis, and basically telling them that they're going to help him regain his Intercontinental Championship. Not regain, but get the Intercontinental Championship. I think he said we all going to win the Intercontinental Championship, and you guys are going to help me win it. He said, and he made Otis and they'll swear, and as they did, that's the end of that promo. We got a backstage confrontation with Dominic Mysterio and Ricochet, where Ricochet basically disclosed that he's just not. I was about to say he's not the only one disappointed that he can't be in the match, because Dominic Mysterio said that he's mad that because of his injury he can't be in the match to beat up on Ricochet. But he said Ricochet, the only person that's more disappointed than you is me, because I wanted to really fight you in the ring. But since you got your boy Santos, he said, and JD, they could I could basically give them the message for you. Ricochet will walk away, and Dominic will turn into Liv Morgan just staring at him. What's that's about? We got Nia Jax promo basically saying that she's going to dominate and win the women's World Rumble. I mean, women's Battle Royal. Then we get the fifth match, which is Ricochet and Andrade versus Santos Escobar and JD McDonough. This was a fun tag team match between the two. Ricochet and Andrade work well together. So do Santos and JD a little bit, but this they still have some great spots with Ricochet and Andrade getting the victory here. Damian Priest would come out and basically destroy Ricochet and Andrade, and would tell JD and Dominic Mysterio, who was there at ringside, that I don't need you guys. You guys need me. Then we would get an Indy Hartwell backstage promo where Indy Hartwell kind of the way where they were talking about where they would get interviewed about their recent tactics, and they was going on to say how they tactics are not underhand, they just doing what they got to do to win, but they would get interrupted by a brawl between I couldn't talk there between Nia and Liv with Becky Lynch as he got broken up. Becky Lynch coming into frame, talking with the interviewer, and this would be the following the guy from the backstage to out to the ring camera shot moment. Sorry, excuse me. Well, she would go as she would have the microphone and was talking while she would win. She walked past Ivy Niles and Maxine, and she stops and she goes to give Maxine a word of encouragement and asking her, "This is your first time fighting for a world championship, right?" And she was like, and she shook her head. She said, "Make sure you go out there and show why this won't be your last." And Becky Lynch would continue talking while she would win, and then she would make her interest and thus cue in picture. This would be the main event, which is the Battle Royal to determine the new women's world champion. This was a good Battle Royal. I mean, they had some fun spots. I like the Chelsea Green spot where she got eliminated, but due to a brawl that was happening outside the ring. I think at this point, both Piper was eliminated, but she pulled Becky underneath the ropes, thus now eliminate Becky, and try to pull her through the table, but Nia would get involved, and she would also grab Nia and to save Chelsea Green, and then they would all fight outside, and while the referee was busy trying to break up that fight and get Piper out of there, Chelsea would get eliminated, but because the referees didn't see it, she was able to continue the match. And she used that to her advantage to see did they really see it, and they told her the referees turned around when they noticed her to get back in the ring. So thus she realized she wasn't eliminated because they didn't see it, even though we all saw it. But yeah, it was a fun match. The final three, it came down to the final three of Nia, Becky, and Liv. Where Maxine Dupree had a good spot too. She looked good. She eliminated both Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae before getting eliminated by Nia Jax herself. And she even looked good against Nia. She actually took on Nia for a bit, but then Nia powered through and eliminated her. But yeah, like I said, the final three was Liv, Nia, and Becky, and they both had some great spots where both of them worked together to eliminate Nia, and thus Becky would eliminate Liv with a manhandle slam as they was fighting on the apron. She hit the manhandle slam on her to become the new women's champion, the world champion. I don't agree with her being women's world champion. I think they should have put it on Liv or somebody else other than Becky, because that's the problem we have. Because you refuse to build up new women, you always got to go back when somebody gets hurt, like Rhea, now you got to go back to the well, and you got to go to Becky Lynch. Now I get it. Becky Lynch's contract was expiring. She got a book sale. Shane, one of my guys on the Wrestling Pit podcast, he said that that's probably one of the reasons why she won it was because she got a book sale. But I'm like, it is what it is. Yeah, I don't think Becky was the right choice here, but nonetheless, it was a cool match. Yeah, it was a good Raw. It was a good Raw. Besides that main event where they made that booking decision, everything else was good. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10 because. But you let me know in the comments down below what you thought. If you enjoy my review, you hit this button right here for all of my WWE reviews. And if you enjoy the video so much you want to support the channel, you know what to do. Hit those buttons. As always, any one of these videos for more of my amazing content. Peace.